Hey, it's Steve from Flowmaster. Today I'm happy to introduce our new Delta Force cooler intakes for the 2017 and newer GMC Canyon and Chevy Colorado, both equipped with a 3.6 liter motor. Now these new Delta Force cooler intakes have a black powder coated heat shield, reinforced silicone couplers, all stainless steel hardware, anodized fittings, and all systems feature an ultra-trick looking durable cross-linked polyethylene intake tube with a nice Flowmaster logo right in the center. Along with the large high-flow conical shaped filter, it's an 8-layer cotton gauze air filter, ensuring that it will trap more dust and dirt particles than your typical 6-layer filter. And this is a 100% direct bolt onto the vehicle, and it's backed up by a lifetime limited warranty, protecting your investment and giving you peace of mind. Now, the tools for the job are Phillips screwdriver, Torx T15, 5/16 nut driver, a long extension, a ratchet, 11/16 wrench, 7/16 wrench, 10mm socket, and a 5/32 Allen key. All Flowmaster products are dyno tuned during the development phases for maximum power gains and efficiency. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm going to get this installed in this Colorado here. Okay, we're in the shop today. We have a 2018 Chevy Colorado equipped with a 3.6 liter motor. We're going to get the old intake system off and go ahead and install the new Delta Force cooler intake. So let's get started. Okay, so the engine cover here is actually part of the intake system. We're going to go ahead and loosen up the 3 bolts and remove them. There's one right here, there's one in this corner, and then there's one down below here at the valve cover. We're going to go ahead and remove this cap. We're going to go ahead and loosen up this clamp here, remove this breather, loosen up the clamp from the hose to the air box, and then we're going to go ahead and loosen up the clamp at the throttle body. There's a little notch right here. And then once you start to lift this up, right underneath here, right about here, there's another vacuum line that's going to be disconnected. Then you can go ahead and remove this as one big unit. And then once you do that, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the sensor, remove the 2 bolts that are holding down the stock airbox, and we'll go ahead and remove this airbox as one unit also. You're going to start off by removing the oil cap first. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and remove the 3 bolts to hold this big unit down. So we're going to start with this one first. Okay, the next bolt is right here. There's kind of a little notch. Now the 3rd bolt is down here on the valve cover. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and loosen up this clamp and remove this breather. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and disconnect the tube from the airbox by loosening up this clamp. Okay, and next we're going to go ahead and loosen up the clamp at the throttle body. You can see on the engine cover right here, there's a little notch for it. Okay. Okay, next we're going to take this whole cover slash intake. We're going to kind of just tip it back. Then you'll see there's another vacuum hose right here. And it's got a little clip. Just got to push on it. And it'll disconnect. Now we'll go ahead and pull this whole cover slash intake off. It's one big unit. Next, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the sensor. This is a red locking tab right here. You got to pull up on this and then go ahead and squeeze it. Okay, next, we're going to go ahead and remove the clip that's holding the wire loom. And it's just a little push-on clip. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the 2 bolts to hold the airbox down, and then we're going to go ahead and pull this off as one unit. Okay, now we'll go ahead and pull this off as one unit. Okay, we got that old airbox assembly and intake system out of the vehicle. We're going to go ahead and only reuse one part. This is going to be the sensor right here. We're going to go ahead and just remove this guy. Okay, just go ahead and pull the sensor out. And we'll go ahead and set this aside. Okay, we got our Delta Force cooler intake laid out on the table. We're going to go ahead and first start off with the heat shield. And we're going to go ahead and take the air filter adapter. We're going to go ahead and install it onto the heat shield. And this goes inside the heat shield. We're going to line up the 3 holes, and with the supplied hardware, we're going to go ahead and bolt it down. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put on the heat shield gasket. Now this may come in excess length, so you may need to trim it to fit your heat shield. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and start putting on the mounting brackets. We're going to go ahead and start off with this one first. And this is going to go on the inside of the heat shield. like so. And with the supplied hardware, we're going to go ahead and put the bolt through the bracket, through the heat shield. And on the back side here, we're going to go ahead and put the flat washer, the lock washer, and the nut. Now we're just going to go ahead and just snug this down. We want to leave it loose so you allow for some adjustment. Perfect. Okay, and now the second bracket we're going to use is going to be this guy right here. It has like the bin right here in the bottom. Now don't get confused with this one. This one's actually more straight. So we're going to go ahead and use this one that has the bin on the bottom. It's going to go on the inside of the heat shield. And it's going to go right across from this other bracket. So now on the back side here, we're going to go ahead and put on the flat washer, the lock washer, and then the nut. And again, we're going to go ahead and just snug this up, but you want to leave it loose for some adjustment. Okay, so this should be straight down right about there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put on the last bracket. Now this can go on the outside of the heat shield. And it's going to go on the back right here by the air filter adapter, just right below it. Now on the inside here, we're going to go ahead and put the flat washer, a lock washer, and then a nut. Now we'll go ahead and just snug this up. Okay. All right, next we're going to go ahead and put some parts on the intake tube. We're going to first start off with the anodized fitting. It's going to go right here. And you want to make sure you put some Teflon tape on the threads. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and install the factory sensor into the new intake tube. But first, we're going to go ahead and peel off the stock gasket. And then you're going to go ahead and put on the new supplied gasket. And also the new supplied hardware. Now you want to make sure you tighten this down evenly so you get a proper seal. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put on the reinforced silicone couplers. We're going to start with this one first. It's got a smaller hole on one end and the bigger one on the other. The bigger end is going to go on the intake tube just right after the anodized fitting. Now we'll go ahead and just snug this up. You want to leave it loose so you allow for some adjustment. Okay. Now next we're going to go ahead and put on the other reinforced coupler. It goes down here by the sensor. Okay, next we're ready to go ahead and install the heat shield into those factory mounting points of the vehicle. Okay, the heat shield is going to mount down to the factory mounting points in this vehicle, which are going to be the two studs that we remove those nuts from. And then we're going to go ahead and remove this one nut right here. That's going to be the third mounting point. Now we'll go ahead and put the heat shield in. Again, you want to make sure all your brackets are loose. We'll go ahead and reinstall the nut. Okay, we'll go ahead and reinstall those factory nuts that we took off. Okay. Now we got our mounting brackets secured down to the factory mounting points in the vehicle. Now we're going to go ahead and bolt down the brackets to the heat shield and give them a final tighten. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and put on the intake tube support bracket. And this one side here has got two holes, and this other one's got one. The one that has two holes needs to be facing up. And then with the supplied hardware, we're going to go ahead and put the Allen bolt, the flat washer, and a lock washer. And the bigger hole is where you're going to put your Allen through. Okay. Next, you got to do some rotation to your hard plastic breather line right here. First, you're going to go ahead and rotate it up. And now you're going to go ahead and swing this thing towards the throttle body. And then you're going to go ahead and take this fitting here and you're going to rotate it up. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put the intake tube on. We're going to hook it up here at the heat shield side. And we want to make sure you have your reinforced silicone coupler pushed up to the throttle body stop right about here. And go ahead and tighten down your clamp. Okay. Also with the heat shield side, you can take a reinforced silicone coupler and push it up against the heat shield. And then you want to go ahead and tighten down the clamp. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and attach the intake tube to the support bracket here with the supplied hardware. Again, you want to make sure you leave your couplers loose at the intake tube, as long as they're secured down at the throttle body and just the air filter adapter, because you want to leave some room for some rotation. So we're going to go ahead and put this bolt on. Okay. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and tighten down the clamp at the intake tube on the throttle body side. Okay. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and tighten down the intake tube at the heat shield side. Okay. Okay, next we'll go ahead and attach the hard plastic line. Make sure you hear it snap. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and connect this breather. Now you're going to take this hose and you have to rotate it towards you. Okay, and then now you may have to clock this counterclockwise. You want to make sure you have the hose clamp going straight up. Okay, now go ahead and tighten it down. Okay, you want to make sure you put your oil cap back on. Next, we're going to go ahead and reconnect the sensor. Make sure you hear it click in. Then go ahead and put the red locking tab down. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put on the air filter. Okay, this concludes our installation here on a new Delta Force cold air intake for the 2017 and newer GMC Canyon and Chevy Colorado equipped with a 3.6 liter motor. Now, installation time on this is roughly about 30 to 45 minutes. I hope you enjoyed and thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our Flowmaster YouTube channel and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.